minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, X minus 1. Fire.
Lights out, everybody. The creaking door.
Dimension X.
Inner Sanctum Mystery.
X minus 1.
Dark fantasy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sci-Fi and Horror, brought to you by Dwayne Old Time Radio. Sci-Fi and Horror features some of the best programs from the golden age of radio, including X-1, Orbiter X, Dimension X, it's a lot of X's, Lights Out, Ray Bradbury, Dark Fantasy, and many, many more. Before we start today's sci-fi and horror thriller, if you enjoy what I'm doing, let me ask you to subscribe to my channel. Subscribing is 100% free, and you will receive notifications on new posts. Lastly, if you have a moment, please write a short 1 or 2 sentence review or give a rating on your preferred podcast service. A positive review or rating would help me out a lot. And now, on to the show. Welcome to a new month of sci-fi and horror on Dwayne Old Time Radio. We're going to start the month of February with The Weird Circle, 2 episodes. The 9th episode, The Horla, which is a rather famous story, classic story. It's been made into many different TV movie adaptations. It's actually a very good story. Anyway, this one aired 1943, and then the 10th episode, William Wilson, which the 10th episode, which I just said, so I'm being redundant. Anyway, there are no correct, it's hard to find absolute dates for The Weird Circle, but these aired in 1943.
The Weird Circle. In this cave by the restless sea, we are met to call from out the past stories strange and weird. Bellkeeper, toll the bell, so all may know we are gathered again in the Weird Circle.
Out of the past, phantoms of a world gone by speak again their immortal tale, the Horla.
It was a dark house, dreary, too. Shadows crept down the walls like loathsome vermin. The house was old and filled with memories of better days, like the man who lived there. He was old and gnarled and alone. He'd pass the lonely hours by sitting on the porch of his home, watching the boats sail up and down the river. He was happy living alone in that old house, until one day a tall, 3-rigged Brazilian schooner floated past his shores, casting a shadow on the banks of the river. A shadow over the old house. A shadow over the old man. A living shadow which crept into his mind. He wrote a letter to his young cousin, Madame Renée Sable, who was living in Paris, begging her to visit him. He read the letter over several times, then took it to a friend of hers, a doctor, Dr. Parent, to ask his advice. She was young and in Paris, and she didn't believe in the old man's shadow.
come to you, Dr. Perron, because this letter worries me so. You've known my cousin, Gabriel Bouvet, for a long time, and he's not the sort of man given to hallucinations.
He seems to be a very sound old man. But living alone the way he does...
Nonsense. Living alone has nothing to do with it.
Well, suppose you read me the letter, Madame Saar.
Of course. It all seems like so much poppycock. Listen. Be honored by a visit from you at your earliest convenience. Isn't that like him?
Yes, very much.
You'll find me a changed man, my dear. Changed because he has come. You don't know what I'm talking about, and so I must explain. A shadow has crept into my home, a shadow which dominates me. You see what I mean, Doctor.
Well, read on, Renee.
Right. He is a creature from a land of shadows, but I tell you he does live. He lives here with me, and I'm afraid of him. Oh, Renee, he will dominate all of mankind, just as mankind has dominated the animal kingdom. We will become his chattel, his food and his slave, as the animal has become ours. You see, Doctor?
Yes, indeed I do. I wonder... Renee, how soon can you pack and be ready to leave?
In about 2 hours.
Well, fine. I'll have the horse and buggy hitched and call for you then. I think we'd better go down to him as soon as possible.
Doctor, surely you don't believe in this invisible creature.
Well, surely, Renee, I don't doubt the wind just because I can't see it. We'll be able to judge better after we have a talk with him. You better hurry home. I'm going right down to the stables now.
What a long trip, Doctor. I hope we don't frighten my cousin by coming at this hour.
That's his house right over there, isn't it?
Yes, right at the end of the road.
Huh. Gloomy-looking old place.
Very gloomy. It's so dark and so very old.
Tell me, how long has Bouvet's wife been dead?
For about 6 years now.
Did you notice any perceptible change in him after she died?
Nothing exceptional, except he became quieter and drew into himself more, if that's possible. Well, here we are.
Yeah. Oh, there, boy. Oh.
And so the doctor and the old man's cousin, Renee's son, entered the old house, expecting to find a man weakened by illness, haggard with lack of sleep. But instead, Gabriel Bouvet was in high spirits as he conducted his guests into the house. He made a special pot of tea, and then, as he passed the cream and sugar...
Take your tea, Renee. Stop being so nervous. Fidget. Always were a fidgety youngster. Makes me nervous.
You were talking about the Brazilian boat, Monsieur Bouvet. What has the boat to do with this unknown shadow?
You don't know, then?
Frankly, no.
Well, here. Look at this book.
Huh?
Study of a Scientific World. Open it. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, or I'd read it to you myself. Page 72.
What has this to do with the shadow which you see?
Allow your friend the doctor to read the second paragraph.
Well, listen to this, Renee. Sao Paulo, Brazil. A contagious madness has spread throughout Sao Paulo. The victims claim they are being possessed by creatures of darkness who feed only on milk and water. Medical savants have been rushed to their aid.
But that's in Brazil, cousin.
I know. But the Brazilian boat sailed by my door. It's possible for this, whatever it is, to have escaped from the boat.
Well, anything's possible, but this does seem a little improbable.
But possession, that's talking of demons. This is a modern world. No one man can possess the power of ordering another's will.
How little you know, cousin.
Well, perhaps I am a fool of a girl, but anybody...
No, not anybody, Renee. Not me, for instance. I believe in hypnotics. That's possession of a kind.
Dr. Mesmer's nonsense. I don't believe in mesmerism.
Well, I can prove it to you simply enough.
How?
If you're willing, we'll try a little experiment.
You hypnotize?
If you'll be a subject.
Why, of course I will. That sounds like fun.
Can I help in any way, Doctor?
Yes, just blow out the candle. All but one.
Certainly. I'll leave the corner candle on.
All right now, Renee, if you'll close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
And try to sleep. Sleep.
There. Candles are out. All but one.
Now, sleep, my dear. Try to sleep.
Doctor. Listen. Listen to that.
What? What, monsieur?
It's in the room. I know it is. It's here. Next to me, watching me. Can't you hear it crying?
This is madness.
You don't believe me, do you? Stop the experiment at once. Listen.
Cousin, please.
What makes you think mankind is the final answer to life? Perhaps there is a higher form of life. Form of life which can possess us and then destroy us. Isn't that possible, Doctor?
Well, yes, anything is possible.
Then take my word for it. Humanity is lost unless we destroy it. Look. I always carry a knife with me, waiting for the time I can destroy him. Listen. It's come for me. Come for possession of me. It's come. It's the Horla. The Horla. And it's come.
Doctor, won't he ever wake up? He's been unconscious for over an hour.
Well, it's best to let him sleep right now, my dear. This is an exhausting emotional strain for a man of his years.
But what can we do?
As soon as his heartbeat is normal, I'll take him back to the Paris hospital. You'll have to stay here for a few days and close the house. Just pack his belongings and bring them on to Paris as soon as you can.
Anything you say, Dr. Perron.
Well, come, Renee. We must let him sleep. I'll prepare the coach for the return journey.
And so they left him, lying on the old bed in his room. And the shadows on the walls cast purple shadows on his gnarled hands, and the hands clutched the air and thrashed the sheets as if the old man were fighting. Fighting a being, fighting a presence, fighting for possession of his own will. The old man's face was a mask of horror. And then the wind, that strange, unholy wind, started to sneak in the room. It oozed through the door, the keyhole, and the window. It slid to the bedside.
No.
You're possessed and owned.
I know you watch me night and day.
Night and day.
But I'll get away from you. I've got to get away from you. I won't give in without a struggle.
You'll have to give in because nobody believes you. Believes you.
Leave me alone.
Watching you.
Leave me alone.
I'll never leave you alone. Never.
But I shall be free of you.
You can't be free of me. I'm part of you.
If I stay here.
They'll call you mad.
But if I leave the house.
You'll die.
I'll leave you here. You can't follow me. I'll go far away. So far, nobody will find me.
Oh, I've got one hand on your heart, Bouvet, and one in the room. If you leave, your heart will be torn from you, torn from your body, torn from your soul.
Monsieur Bouvet, is anything the matter?
I heard him scream, too. Doctor, look at him.
Oh.
His face is dead white.
Yes, Renee, you're quite right. I'll have to risk moving him now. I don't think we ought to leave him in this house any longer.
But how can you travel alone with him?
Well, I'll manage somehow. I'll carry him to the buggy. He can sleep as we drive along. I can manage somehow. That is, if you don't mind staying here alone.
Oh, I don't mind, Doctor. I've no patience with superstitious nonsense.
Here, my dear, help me wrap him in this blanket.
Of course, Doctor.
There, that's fine. Now, hand me that other blanket over there.
Here you are.
That'll keep him warm on the journey. I'll send the coach back from Paris tomorrow evening to pick you up. You ought to be able to leave here by then.
Don't worry about me, Dr. Perron. I'll be all right.
That's what she thought then. But even as the doctor carried the old man out of the house to the carriage, a premonition of fear, a foreboding, reached out from the gathering shadows in the walls and left her trembling and weak. The doctor placed the old man in the carriage, and then that journey and the return to Paris started. They had traveled for about an hour. Bouvet awakened, sobbing out.
You've taken me away. Away from my house, you fool.
Bouvet, you must not excite yourself.
Put his hands on my heart, and he's pulling on it. Doctor, take me back before I die.
Nonsense, Bouvet. You must get away from that place.
Take me back. Take me back, Doctor. You don't understand.
Bouvet, sit down.
You think I'm mad, don't you? But the Hall exists. They exist, and I'll die if I don't return.
Will you try to rest, monsieur? We're doing everything we can for
Turn this carriage around, Doctor, and return to the house.
Bouvet, put those reins
Did you
down.
hear me?
Let go of the reins, you fool, before you take us off the road.
Turn the carriage around.
No,
or I shall plunge this knife into you.
Bouvet, put that knife down. Put that
down. That will teach you to interfere with a Horla, Doctor. That will teach you. Now Get out of this carriage, Doctor.
But, Bouvet!
Before I plunge the dagger into your heart.
Bouvet! Bouvet, you can't leave me here like this.
I must leave you here. I must return to the house at once to destroy him.
But he doesn't exist except in your own mind, Bouvet.
He exists, and I'm going to him.
Bouvet!
Doctor. Doctor. Dead. I'm coming, Master. Yeah, I'm coming, Master. I'm coming to destroy you, just as I destroyed him.
And so Bouvet drove off in the rambling carriage, leaving the badly wounded doctor lying on the roadside, more dead than alive. Bouvet drove furiously through the night to a little shack about a half-mile from his home. There was a sign on the shack, a sign reading, Litau's expert lockmakers and ironworkers. Bouvet pulled the carriage up in front of the door. He walked to the entrance of the shack.
Monsieur Litau! Monsieur Litau!
Who's calling at this? Oh, Monsieur Bouvet. What are you doing at this hour of the night?
Do I? Oh, yes, doing, of course. I need your help, that's what.
My help? What can a poor man like me do for a wealthy man like you?
You can make a lock for me. I've got to lock the doors of my house securely. The front and back doors and the windows. All the windows in my house. They must be locked and bolted, Litau.
Tonight?
Yes, tonight, you fool, of course, tonight.
But in heaven's name, why?
To lock him out of my home, out of my life. Into an eternity.
You're not feeling well?
Come, Litau. Don't bicker with me. Hurry, man. I'm prepared to pay any price you ask.
Of course. She'll be as you say if you'll only just give me time to get my instruments together.
Of course, but hurry, Litau. Hurry. He's waiting for me now.
Monsieur Litau and the old man returned to the lonely old house by the river in the dead of the night. They crept into the house and worked in the half-darkness near the shadows. And that strange, unholy wind was quiet and didn't disturb them while they worked. Bouvet felt safe and free for a while, only a while. And a girl slept upstairs, slept undisturbed and quiet. The hours passed this way, passed quietly, as the locksmith worked and the old man muttered.
Hurry, Litau, hurry. It's almost morning, man.
I'm hurrying as fast as I can. I'm almost done, except for the windows in your cousin's room.
Now, don't worry about her. I'll wake her up when the time comes. Finish that lock, man.
Just 2 more nails will hold it in place.
Good. 2 more nails.
There you are.
Gabriel, what are you doing here?
Oh, good morning, youngster. Good morning, my dear.
But the doctor was to take you.
Away from my house. But he couldn't, René.
Where is the doctor?
In Paris. He's going to return this evening after my work is done. Yes. Yes. A job in life. Kill the Horla.
The doctor let you return alone?
He had to let me. Because I wasn't alone.
Who is this?
I'm Monsieur Litau, mademoiselle, the most famous lockmaker in the world.
I don't understand all this.
Naturally, my dear. Come along, Litau. You must finish your work. Only 2 more locks to fix tonight. And I'll be able to lock him in and kill him. Hell, what are you staring at me for? Go ahead to my cousin's room and start to work.
Of course, I'll start right away.
Gabriel. Look at me, cousin.
I'm looking at you, René. I see you.
Are you lying to me?
Why should I lie to you?
What did you do to the doctor?
Nothing, René.
That knife in your belt. What about that knife in your belt?
I always carry a knife to protect me against the Horla.
There's blood on that knife, Gabriel. What did you do?
Be quiet, René.
Cousin, am I all gone?
I can't let you go.
What are you going to do to me?
I'll have to bind you up. Tie her to a chair until I've killed him. Don't you understand? Yes, I'm old, but I'm strong, cousin. Stronger than you. Oh, no, don't struggle against me.
Monsieur Bouvet, you in trouble? I thought I heard you.
You heard nothing. Nothing, monsieur. Go back to work.
All right, I'm almost done.
Yeah, come along, cousin. I'll have to tie you in the kitchen where you'll be out of harm's way until he's dead.
Bouvet dragged his cousin to the kitchen, and then taking a stout rope, tied her to the kitchen table by the sheer strength of a maniac, tied her securely, and then threw a tablecloth over her. Smiling to himself, he left the kitchen and went to the upstairs room to watch Letao finish the work of the night.
Are you finished, Monsieur Letao?
Yes, of course. Yes, I'm finished.
Here. Here you are, Letao. 200 francs for one night's work. Good pay, isn't it?
Very good pay, Monsieur Bouvet. Very good pay. Anything more I can do, sir?
Have you locked the locks?
All locked securely, Monsieur.
I'm glad. Hey, Letao, what are you waiting for? Why don't you go home?
I thought I ought to say good night to the young
There's no
lady.
need to. I'll say good night for you. Listen. Do you hear that?
I hear nothing.
Naturally. You hear nothing.
Good night, Monsieur Bouvet.
Letao, may I caution you against one thing?
Of course.
Don't tell anybody of this work tonight. Do you understand? Don't tell anybody.
Of course I understand. Good night. See you in the morning.
Your locks can't lock me out.
You again.
I've been watching you and your lockmaker, watching you, and your locks are useless. Locks are useless.
But I can lock you in when I escape.
Impossible, because I am with you constantly.
And I'll destroy you, Horla.
With a knife?
No, with fire and flame. I'll set the entire house on fire and leave you here. Leave you here and I'll escape. You can't escape. You're part of this house. You said so yourself.
Did I now? How interesting. How interesting. How very interesting.
And you'll burn to death. You'll burn to death. And the world will be free of the Horla.
Are you so sure, Bouvet? Are you so sure?
I'll pour oil on the walls and on the rugs and on the floor. Where's the oil?
In the kitchen closet.
Yes, in the kitchen closet. That's where it is.
Don't forget I'm part of
No.
you.
You'll be destroyed by fire.
And while the frantic, distraught old man poured oil on the rugs and on the walls, Letao walked slowly home, worrying about his old friend Bouvet, worrying about the strangest actions he'd ever seen, worrying and trying to fit together the odd pieces of the puzzle in his mind. Halfway home, he heard a voice cry out,
Somebody help! Help before it's too late!
Who is it? Oh, but it's the doctor. In heaven's name, what has happened to you?
Help me.
Oh, you're badly wounded. Here, allow me to help you stand on your feet. There now.
Oh, I'm so weak.
What's happened?
The madman Bouvet, I was trying to take him to a hospital and he stabbed me.
Madman? I thought so. I just finished making 24 sets of locks for him in his house.
Letao, is Madame Saab still there?
Yes. I thought I heard her cry out, but I wasn't sure.
Well, we must get help to her immediately. That madman will do anything. Anything, Letao.
Here, let me carry you, monsieur. There, put your arm over my shoulder if you can. We'll get help as soon as possible.
Hurry. Hurry, Letao. Hurry, man.
Now I've poured oil over the entire house. Yes, the entire house. The curtains, the ceiling, even the beds and walls and the chairs. Now for a match. Yes, one match. One match in the house will go up in flames. Flames. And you will be dead.
Will I be dead? Will I?
I need a match. I need a match. There must be a match in the kitchen. And the house will all be flames. Flames. And you will burn. Burn and die. Yes, the kitchen. Yeah. Don't be nervous, cousin. Don't be nervous. Work is almost done. Almost done. He'll be dead. The hall will be dead. Dead, yes. Yes, hit the match. I must start my flames on the top floor.
The top floor.
Don't follow me. I don't want you following me.
I like to watch you.
Up those stairs. Yes, up the steps to the landing. Will you enjoy watching your own funeral pyre?
Fire and flames. Fire and flames.
I'm almost to the top now. And then I'll strike my match. And the flames will start.
How do you intend to escape? Don't forget your own escape.
Yes. I escape my escape. I must escape. I'll unlock the front door and run out. Just in time. And you'll be trapped. Trapped. Here we are. Now the match. Light the match.
No, Beauvais.
Yes, Horla. You'll die here.
Be careful of yourself. Be careful of yourself. I don't want any harm to come to you, Beauvais.
Look, the fire started. Look at the flames. Look at the walls and the shadows. Look at the flames. Now for the downstairs.
I'm right beside you. Where you go, I go.
No. You must stay here and die. Don't you understand? Then you will die. You will.
Shout for the flames. Watch out for the flames.
I must strike the match down here now. Light the canopy. Like that. How do you like those flames, Horla? How do you like those flames?
Be careful of yourself, Beauvais. Be careful of yourself.
Now one last light here, and the job is done. And I'll wait and escape. At the last minute, and you'll be left.
Okay, open up! They've come to rescue me. You see, Beauvais, they've come to rescue me.
No, I won't open up. Hurry, flames, hurry. Don't let them beat you to the job.
I tell you, the girl's in the back of the house.
Break the door down. Get the girl. Where is she?
She's in the back of the house. Hurry, men.
You're all fools. You're allowing the Horla to live. You're allowing the Horla to escape.
Watch out, Beauvais. I've got the girl.
Fools. He would have died in here, and I would have been free.
I'll never leave you, old friend.
And I would have been free.
Never free of me.
Don't you see him? He's standing next to me.
Always next to you, always next to you.
He should die in the flames.
Only if you die in the flames.
Watch out, the house will crumble. Leave the place. Everybody watch out.
If I die in the flames. Yes, of course. I must die in the flames. Yes, I must die in the flames. And then the Horla will be dead.
And the old, wild-eyed man rushed into the pile of burning timber among his old belongings and perished there. He and the Horla perished there. All that remained of the man and the Horla was scorched bones and two odd, misshapen skulls. Two odd, misshapen skulls. Remember that. For there were two skulls, not one.
From the time-worn pages of the past, we have heard the famous story, the Horla. Bellkeeper, toll the bell.
The Weird Circle. In this cave by the restless sea, we are met to call from out the past stories strange and weird. Bellkeeper, toll the bell so all may know we are gathered again in the weird circle. Phantoms of a world gone by speak again their immortal tale. William Wilson.
Horla.
Oh, Charlie Vernon. I thought you weren't going to come to my party tonight.
Now, this is one party I wouldn't miss for all the cobblestones in New York. Now, here you're going to announce your engagement to my old buddy, William Wilson.
That was supposed to be a secret until midnight. Who told you?
Usual grapevine, Aura. No secrets in this clubby little group. Now, where is Bill now?
In the library. He hates crowds, you know. Well, he wanted to be alone for a while.
What was that? Come on, Aura, let's find out.
Well, I think it's in the library, Charles. Bill! Bill, darling. He's wounded. Get a doctor, somebody.
I'll call the doctor right away.
What happened, darling?
If I were a detective, I'd say he tried to bump himself off and missed.
Oh, be quiet, Charles. Oh, Bill.
It does look like attempted suicide, doesn't it? It's all so strange. So strange.
There's nothing strange about this setup, old boy. Gun in your left hand, a bullet hole in your left side. Pretty neat.
Are you enjoying it, Charlie?
Well, I can't say that I'm not. I came to suffer through your wedding. Who knows, I might stay and enjoy your funeral.
Really, Charles, your sense of humor's out of place.
You hate me, Charlie, don't you? A boob like you never could stand a guy with brains.
Brains? Those muscles in your head are so twisted they look like handcuffs.
Why did you do it, Bill?
Ora, you've got to believe me. I didn't do it.
Oh, who did, Bill, and why?
Come on, William Wilson. We want the straight goods for a change.
But I didn't.
You might die, mister. Put your cards on the table.
My cards on the table? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. None of you would. It all started back in college. When you and I were rooming together at the fraternity house, Charlie. It was one night you were sitting at the desk studying, and I was trying to shave. I was peering in the mirror at myself.
Why are you getting so slicked up, Bill, old boy?
Got a date.
With Dolly Maysfield?
Cute little something, isn't she?
Oh, Bill, she's not your type.
Well, she's good for laughs.
Well, you don't need laughs every night.
What would you suggest?
Oh, gee, Bill, if I had your dough, I'd work hard at college and meet a nice girl and think about getting married.
Ouch. I almost cut myself.
Oh, I mean it. About getting married, Bill.
So you mean it. What do you want me to do? Bury myself?
Well, no, but... Oh, gee, take me, for instance. I know I'm a dope, but I got just enough money to see me through college.
Yeah, I know. The $3,000 your old man left you. You're a boob to spend it in this place. You'll wind up with a blank bank account and a dirty piece of parchment to show for your trouble.
You've got the wrong slant on life, Bill.
I have. Listen, stupid. You've been seeing Ora St. Clair for 3 years now. She's alive with money. If you'd get on to yourself, you'd spring the question, put her in double wedlock, and get your fingers on that money.
I'm in love with Ora, Bill.
Love, love, love. Rot.
I'd never touch a cent of her money.
You're crazy, Charlie. Well, old boy, I don't want to be late.
Hey, Bill. Have you met the new boy in the house?
What new boy?
A freshman. Just came in today.
Sounds fascinating. What about it?
Well, nothing, except he's got the same name you have.
Are you kidding?
No, I just thought you'd be interested.
There can't be two William Wilsons. If there is, there won't be for long.
Boy, what an ego you have. Well, great Scott, fella, you waste more time talking than you do anything else.
Yeah, which all adds up to the fact that you want me to stay home and study tonight. Nothing doing, Charlie. I got a date with my Dolly. Night. That was the first time I ever heard of the other William Wilson. The knowledge that he existed rankled in my soul. That evening, as I stepped out into the hall and walked halfway down the stairs, I was stopped by my double. He looked just like me, or rather like a poor imitation. I felt from the first that he was my evil genius. He didn't act like a freshman when he said,
"Hello. I've been waiting for you here in the hall."
"You've been waiting for me? Who are you?"
"I'm your namesake. You can call me Wilson. There's nobody home at the fraternity house except you and me and Charlie. I thought it would be a good chance to get acquainted with you."
"I'm sorry, I'm busy tonight."
"Bill."
"Where do you get that Bill stuff?"
"It might be worthwhile getting acquainted with me."
"What do you want, anyway?"
"I'll walk you down the stairs."
"Don't trouble yourself, Wilson. You might be better off never knowing me."
"I might be, but..."
"Save it," I said. "See you some other time, Wilson."
Charles! Oh, Charlie!
There's something I can do for you, lady?
Oh, yes, I'm Aura Sinclair. I promised to call for Charlie Vernon tonight. Would you call him for me?
Well, you're Aura St. Clair.
Oh, yes.
Well, all right.
Would you tell Charlie I'm here?
Well, I would if I could, but he's not in.
Oh, but he promised
Imagine him forgetting a date with a nice girl like you.
Well, that's strange. Do you know where he is?
Yeah. I mean, well, gee, Miss St. Clair, I don't think I ought to tell you.
Is he out with another girl?
Well, now that you've guessed it, I guess I'll have to say yes.
I see. I'm sorry.
I don't look like that. Suppose I see you home.
Oh, that's not necessary.
It'd be a pleasure. I'd do anything for Charlie. Come on.
"Bill."
Is that you again, Wilson?
"Yes, it's me, Bill. Don't you think you ought to stick around here this evening?"
Don't you think you ought to mind your own business?
"Maybe you are my business."
What? Stop ribbing me, fella. I don't like it. Come on, Miss St. Clair. Think you and I'll have a lot to talk about.
This is awfully nice of you. Oh, I don't even know your name.
William Wilson. Don't forget that, my sweet. The one and only William Wilson. That's how I met Aura. We spent the entire evening together, Charlie. We had a lot of laughs. It was well past midnight when we said goodnight to each other. And I was about to go home when I remembered that I hadn't even called Dolly Macefield to tell her I couldn't make it. Knowing Dolly's temperament, I decided to drop up to her apartment, even though it was late. I knocked on the apartment door.
Well, well, well. Look what the breeze brought in. Mr. Heartbreaker.
Aren't you going to even ask me in?
I ought to never talk to you again, that's what. Who do you think you are? Mr. King of Siam?
Oh, if that's the way you feel.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on in, Bill. I've been worried stiff about you.
That's more like my doll, baby. Got a kiss for me?
Sure. I got a kiss for you. Oh, Bill, I love you so much.
Come here. There, Dolly. There.
Where were you, Bill?
Where was I? Don't you trust me, Dolly?
Sure, I trust you.
I had something important to attend to. Come on, give us a smile.
There.
I like to see you smile, Dolly. I like it a lot.
Oh, I do most anything for you, Bill.
I'm glad to hear that, because I've got to ask you a favor.
Anything you want.
I want you to stay away from me from now on, baby. You and I are through.
Through? Oh, Bill, what are you talking about? Don't joke with me.
This is no joke. I'm serious. I'm giving it to you right from the shoulder, kid.
But you're joking, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I found the girl I want to marry. She's class, Dolly, real class, with plenty of money. You get me?
You'll never marry her, Bill. She'll find out what a cheap four-flusher you are,
Who's
and
gonna
then
tell her?
I'll tell her. I'll tell her a lot of things about you. You pretending to have so much money and borrowing from me all the time. Pretending to be such a big shot when you got holes in your shoes. Shooting off your mouth.
Shut up. Shut up, Dolly, before I make you shut up. Nobody's going to tell anybody anything. That is, if you're smart. And I think you are. Okay. I know what everybody thinks of me. But I made up my mind to marry Aura, and nobody was going to stop me. I saw Aura every day and every night after that for the next 3 weeks. Things went according to plan. I thought I was rid of Dolly Macefield for good until... Well, you remember that night, Charlie? You and I and Wilson were sitting around the living room of the fraternity house chewing the fat. It was all Wilson's fault. I knew from the first time I saw him he was my evil genius. And you were saying...
I just can't understand it, Bill. I've been calling Ora every night, but she won't talk to me.
Yeah, that's how women are, Charlie.
Why don't you tell him why, Bill?
Keep out of this, Wilson.
It won't make any difference now.
I said mind your own business.
You are my business, Bill.
What are you talking about, Wilson?
Ask Bill why you never saw Ora the night she was to call for you. Ask him. Go on, Charlie.
Bill? Well, what did Bill have to do with it?
What difference does that make now? It's all over and done with. Ora's not interested in you anymore, Charlie. She told me so herself.
You dirty double-crosser.
Sit down, Charlie, and cool off.
Why don't you write Ora a letter and tell her the truth, Charlie?
Oh, what's the use? But I'll get even with you someday, Bill Wilson. Don't think I won't.
I'll answer it.
Yeah, you make a good doorman, Wilson. I told you, Charlie, to grab the girl while you had the chance.
You didn't tell me you were going to stick a knife in my back.
A smart guy gets what he wants in this world.
Is William Wilson in?
You have to be smart,
Yes,
like me.
He's in the living room.
Thanks. Bill? Oh, Bill?
Well, look who's here. If it isn't the doll baby herself.
Hello, Bill.
Hello, Dolly. Meet the boys. This is Charlie Vernon. The doorman is my double, William Wilson.
Hello.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Tell you what I'll do for you, Charlie. I'll give you the doll baby here in exchange for Ora. How's that? That's fair.
You make a man sick, Bill.
Bill. Bill, I gotta see you.
Well, you see me. How do I look?
How alone, I mean.
I told you not to bother me anymore.
Oh, please, Bill, if you've any pity.
Pity? Sure, I got pity. Where'll we go?
Anywhere you say, Bill.
How about the river? How about a nice walk down to the river?
Sure, Bill. That's a good place for what I want. That's just about perfect.
Down to the river, Dolly and I. For a talker, she was silent that night. And I knew she had more up her sleeve than her pretty white arm. We got to the edge of the river. We sat down to watch the boats steam by.
Bill, I can't live without you.
So what?
I'm going to give you one last chance, Bill, to be a decent guy.
You're going to give me a chance. What a laugh.
Oh, Bill, don't you know what you're doing to yourself? You're trying to marry a girl that ain't for you. You once told me that you and me was cut from the same piece of cloth.
Yeah, I once said a lot of things.
We are cut from the same piece of cloth. You're a no-good bum, but I love you. Oh, we could help each other. You could go straight and be honest, and I'd work right with you every inch of the way. Nobody else would do that for you, Bill.
What do you expect me to do, chuck $20 million into the lake for you? Listen, Dolly, don't try any tricks.
Bill, please, please,
You don't
darling.
fit into the picture anymore, don't you get it?
Oh, what'll I do?
Who cares? Why don't you kill yourself? Make it easier all the way around.
You wouldn't care?
I'd send you a dozen posies.
If I jumped in the river, you wouldn't care?
Why should I?
Oh, watch me, Bill. I don't think any man's as hard as you pretend to be.
So I'm watching.
You've held me in your arms. You've kissed me. You've said you loved me. Doesn't that mean anything?
It did when I said it, I guess. You can never tell what a guy's going to say.
Can you really watch me, Bill? Even though I love you?
I can watch anything, baby, when I'm sitting on $20 million.
Watch me, Bill. What?
Ah, you fool. Jump and get it over with. You can't bluff me.
I love you, Bill. Don't forget that.
Dolly!
Help! Help! I can't swim, Bill. Help me!
Well, it was your choice, kid. You picked your grave. Now die in it.
Nice work, William Wilson. Nice work.
What are you doing here?
I tried to follow you. I have a feeling I'm a little late.
She Wanted to kill herself.
I wasn't thinking about Dolly, Bill. I was thinking about you.
Don't give me that stuff, Wilson. I don't go for it.
I'm always thinking about you, Bill. But you're too smart to allow anybody to help you. And I'm afraid it's too late for you to help yourself.
Cut it out, will you? Cut it out. Let me worry about my own soul. If it's damned, then I'll be the one to suffer, not you. Not you. Dolly was dead. Nobody knew about it except Wilson. I knew he wouldn't tell. At least I thought he wouldn't. I don't know why, but I just knew. And there was only one other person in the way of my plans. That was you, Charlie. You were in the way, and I had to get rid of you. It took me some time to plan the right attack. It was right after mid-years, remember?
How could I forget?
I was alone in the room with you, Charlie. I was toying with a deck of cards.
Stop that shuffling, will you, Bill?
I gotta shuffle them. Gonna play some two-handed stud with Wilson.
I'm nervous enough waiting for the mid-year report.
You'll pass. Don't worry.
Well, if I don't pass, what happens to me then? I got $1,000 left. Not enough to pay for any full year's course anywhere in the country.
What makes you so sure you flunked?
You know why.
Still thinking of Aura?
Sure, I'm still thinking of her. Day and night. Bill, isn't there a decent chord in you somewhere? Why don't you go to Aura and tell her the truth?
Why don't you?
Hello, Charlie. How are you, Bill?
It's about time you got here, Wilson.
Sorry, Bill. I hate to keep you waiting.
Have a seat. What do you want to play for?
Name your own figure.
Well, how about a $5 limit?
Good enough.
Want to sit in on a hand, Charlie?
No, thanks. I couldn't.
Game of stud would be good for you. Take your mind off your troubles.
Oh, the stakes are sort of high.
Or maybe you'll win some money. Heaven knows you need it.
Okay. Well, I might sit in for a while.
Cut for deal, Vernon. It might bring you some luck.
Don't you ever lose, Bill?
Not very often, old boy. Not very often. Want to bet again?
Easy, Charlie. Quit now while you've still got $600 left.
Well, I can't quit now. I can't. I tell you, I gotta win. I gotta. Let's double the stakes.
Double it, triple it. Any way you want, Charlie, old boy.
$3:00, Bill.
It's not up to me to quit. I'm the winner. It's up to Charlie. How about it, Charlie?
I haven't got much choice, have I? I'm flat busted.
Well, that's tough luck, Charlie. That's real tough luck.
You've got my girl. You've got my money. You've got everything, haven't you, Bill? Just everything.
You shouldn't gamble if you can't afford it. Come on, Charlie. Take out that check for the full amount, $1,108.
I haven't got that much money in the world, and you know it.
Well, give me $1,000 then. I'll take an option on that empty soul of yours for the rest. What's the matter? You going to welch?
I don't welch. Where's the pen?
Here it is, Charlie. Don't get sore.
Give it to me.
Make it out nice and clear, huh? That's a boy.
Here you are.
Thanks, Charlie.
Where are you going, Charlie?
As far away from here as I can get. I'm going to get a job. A good, honest job. Someday I'll be back. And I won't forget you, Bill. I'll never forget you, no matter how long I live. Someday I'm going to get even.
Keep your shirt on, Charlie.
If you'll pardon me, good night.
Nice work, Bill. Keeping an even score.
What are you talking about, Wilson?
The 3 aces up your sleeve. And the cards from the bottom of the deck.
If you saw me, why didn't you tell her?
I don't have to. Other eyes are watching you beside me. Many other eyes. Eyes that keep the records of our lives.
So I cheated you, Charlie. You didn't even know it. You left town and it was clear sailing for me. All the way. Yeah, it was clear sailing. Right to the altar. At least almost to the altar.
Except for one thing, which you didn't know, Bill. One little thing. I left the fraternity house that night, but I didn't leave town. I went to Aura's house and I told her the full story.
Charlie, this isn't a new story to me. All along I've known Bill's pretty rotten. But I'm in love with him. I'm horribly in love with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
I'm fascinated by him. And yet there's something almost appalling about him. He's crude and earthy and... How can I make you understand?
I think I understand, Ora.
Sometimes I wish I'd never met him.
You'd have been better off.
And then again, I'd die without him, Charlie.
That's my answer.
I'm so sorry, my dear.
It's all right, Ora. Someday I'll be back. When you need me. I don't mind being an old shoe for you. I'll be back, and I hope you've gotten over him by then.
That was a right touching scene. Yeah. Maybe you still got a chance, Charlie, if that doctor doesn't get here soon.
But you still haven't told me who... Bill, what happened tonight?
Well, I graduated from college, and you and I became engaged. And you sent out the invitations to this ball tonight, to all my old friends, even to Wilson, the one man I didn't want to see. I was standing in the ballroom a little while ago, watching you, Ora, when Wilson beckoned to me. He was in the doorway of the library. Somehow or other, I felt drawn to it. I had to go there, even though I didn't want to. I walked in, closed the door behind me.
Hello, Bill.
What do you want?
You know what I've come for.
Why don't you turn on the lights?
Are you afraid of the dark, Bill?
What are you talking about, Wilson?
The world you'll know will be dark forever.
Are you trying to threaten me?
I don't think I have to threaten you. You threaten yourself by your mere existence.
Who are you, anyway, William Wilson?
Don't you know, Bill?
Stop looking at me that way.
Think back, Bill. Think back a long way. Remember Dolly.
I don't want to die, Bill. I just want to threaten you. I don't want to die. I love you.
Remember her screams and your laugh? Remember what Charlie said?
You'll pay for this someday, Bill. You'll pay for it.
I warned you. I've warned you many times. And I never told on you. Do you know why?
I don't care why.
Think hard, Bill Wilson. Think hard. I'm the only one who knows the truth. I'm the only one who stands between you and success, William Wilson. You carry a gun, don't you, Bill? Don't you?
What's the difference if I do?
Why don't you kill me? Then nobody will know.
Hate you.
Love you.
Hate you.
Love you.
Hate you.
Yes, I will kill you. I will. There can only be one William Wilson.
There's never been more than one William Wilson.
I'm wounded. I aimed the gun at you. At you, Wilson. Wilson. Wilson! Where are you? Wilson! I'm alone. No. No, I couldn't have dreamed it. I couldn't. And that's the entire story. You don't have to believe me, but it's the truth.
Here's the doctor, Bill.
Now, just lie still, son. Don't try to move.
I don't feel sick, Doctor. I'm just stiff. Sort of paralyzed, you know what I mean?
Now, let's have a look at this.
Hey, Doctor, how bad am I?
Just lie still. Yeah.
Doctor, is he...
There's a sudden pain, Doctor. Doctor, I felt fine before, but... Oh.
Bill!
I'm afraid it's too late. The bullet lodged near his heart, and the exertion of talking was too much for him.
If he hadn't talked, Doctor, would he...
No, my dear. He must have had a lot on his conscience to have held up this long.
William Wilson, I'm waiting for you. Come along, Bill.
Wilson. What are you doing here?
Just waiting for you, Bill. Waiting so that two halves of a soul can be reunited. Come along, Bill. Take my hand.
Your hand. So dark here, Wilson. So very dark.
Yes. I'll have to lead you. And we've a long journey ahead, Bill. An awfully long journey on the road back.
From the time-worn pages of the past, we have brought to you William Wilson. Bellkeeper, toll the bell.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy what I'm doing, I ask you to please subscribe to my channel or channels. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, peace.